exploring the source of our collective story. Where's our collective story come from? We're taught a story of separation, competition, conflict, struggle, scarcity. And we believe that story. It's a story of random mutations. Random mutations. It's a story of insignificance. The consequence of that story is that we feel insignificant. We feel powerless. We feel fearful. We have this distorted view of aging that we're exploring here, where just because you get older, things aren't supposed to work the way they used to. Just because you get older, that you're supposed to deteriorate. But your body doesn't say that. That's the expectation. It's the expectation. Well, I want to tell you, new discoveries are changing the story, and I'm going to share as many of those discoveries as I can with you. Discovery number one. Now, I'm a degreed geologist. I've got a strong background in life sciences, and I want to tell you, many of the things I'm going to share with you are 180 degrees opposed to what I was taught when I was in school in the 50s and 60s. And I'm not surprised, because science is designed to be constantly updated. Science is designed to be updated with new information when it is revealed. Science has been hijacked by corporations, by politics, by religion. Our job is to keep science honest if science is going to serve us. And I want to share with you some of those new discoveries. How many of you saw the movie Jurassic Park? Anybody see Jurassic Park? All right, the theme in that movie used to be science fiction, because they were able to pull DNA from the fossilized remains of a dinosaur, of an ancient form of life. It's not science fiction anymore. We can do that. We pulled DNA from the bone marrow of those who are supposed to be our ancestors, that we're supposed to have descended from. But what the DNA is saying is that we did not descend from those forms of life. We are not the descendants of Neanderthal. We shared the earth with them. We didn't descend from them. We don't know what happened, but here's the thing. What the DNA is showing is that you and I, modern humans, showed up on Earth about 200,000 years ago. And science is in full agreement with that. There's no controversy there. We showed up 200,000 years ago, and we haven't changed in 200,000 years. We showed up with a brain 50% larger than our nearest primate relatives, a full nervous system that we have right now that's going to be very important in just a moment, the extended neural network that we have. And it has been with us ever since. What that means is that from the very moment that we appeared on this earth, however that happened, and we don't know the answer scientifically, it means we are wired for self-regulation and wired to embrace change in a healthy way. Wired to do that. So we know this right now. We know that modern humans appeared 200,000 years ago, and we've had these capabilities. They didn't develop slowly, gradually over long periods of time. That's important. That's important for us to understand that. So the question is, since we've had it for 200,000 years, how do we awaken that extraordinary potential? And that leads to discovery number two. And these are relatively new discoveries. 1991 wasn't that long ago. 1991, scientists discovered in every human heart, in your heart, the existence of about 40,000 specialized cells that had never been recognized before. They've always been there, they just hadn't been recognized. They're called sensory neurites. What that means is they're brain-like cells, but they're not in the brain, they're in the heart. It's actually called the little brain in the heart. So I want you to see what you're seeing right now. This is an image of what typical neurons look like, and I know you've seen these before. There's an organization in Northern California, the Institute of Heart Math, who has given us permission to share some of the first images. These are the neurons in the human heart. This is what they look like. Why is this important? Because the neurons in your heart, the little brain in your heart, it thinks independently of the brain in your head. It feels independently. It remembers independently. And what that means is that if you're going to address trauma and healing in your life, it's not enough to do it just from the brain. And many of you have tried that. If it hasn't worked, this may help to understand why. Because the heart has its own memory, its own experience that must be addressed. One of the joys for me, and part of the value of spending time with our indigenous ancestors, is learning from them things that we cannot learn from a temple wall or the text of an ancient scroll. And one of the things they have shared with us, almost universally, every culture, is they begin their healings. They begin their prayers. They begin their meditations. They go to the deepest source of wisdom in their body through their heart, not through the mind.